Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Puss in Boots, Antonio Banderas, begins the film by telling the story of a shooting star that fell from the sky and landed somewhere unknown. According to legend, within the star is a single wish waiting to be granted to someone worthy. Puss is having a good time as a living legend, throwing a party at the governor of Del Mar's house and singing a song about what a great hero he is. Puss flees when the governor arrives, but not before outwitting and outsmarting the governor and his guards. Puss awakens the sleeping giant of Del Mar after setting off some fireworks. As the one-eyed giant attempts to destroy the town, he engages in an epic battle. Puss employs his cunning to wrap a bell around the giant's horns and use it to knock the beast out. Puss and the townspeople are celebrating his victory when the bell falls and crushes him. Puss awakens in the town doctor's office, Anthony Mendez. He informs Puss that he was killed by the bell, but Puss is unconcerned because cats have 9 lives. The doctor, on the other hand, makes Puss remember all the other times he's died, in a bullfight, in a bad poker game, falling off a ledge, getting burned while making cookies, with a quick appearance from Jingy the Gingerbread Man, being launched out of a cannon, being crushed by a large weight, and having an allergic reaction to shellfish. That means Puss is on his final journey. The doctor advises Puss to give up his life of adventure, but the cat is confident he has nothing to fear. Puss is sitting in a pub when he is approached by the mysterious big bad wolf, Wagner Mora. He wields 2 scythes, but Puss is quick to draw his own sword, only to be disarmed just as quickly. The wolf is one of Puss's most difficult opponents because he is fast and manages to cut Puss with his scythe. Puss flees and realizes he fears the wolf, forcing him to hang up his boots for good. Puss is taken in by a cat lady named Mama Luna, Divine Joy Randolph, after the doctor suggests it. He buries his boots, hat, and cape as if he were dead for good and then joins Mama Luna's other cats, who don't like him. Puss becomes dissatisfied with his newfound domesticity. He is then approached by a small dog dressed as a cat, Harvey Guillen. The unnamed dog is referred to as Perito by Puss. Goldilocks, Florence Pugh, and the 3 bears, Papa, Ray Winstone, Mama, Olivia Colman, and Baby, Samson K.O., are bounty hunters looking for Puss for a secret job, and they make their way close to Mama Luna's home. They break into Mama Luna's and demand to know where Puss is. Baby picks up Puss, but Goldie doesn't recognize him because he's grown a beard and is missing his outfit. They discover his grave and decide to continue their mission with a different strategy. Puss overhears them discussing how they needed him for a heist to steal a map to the wishing star, and the map is in Big Jack Horner's hands, John Mulaney. Puss decides to return to his heroics and go after the map himself, realizing that he can use his wish to reclaim his other lives. Puss infiltrates Big Jack's compound, but he is pursued by Perito, who believes he can assist Puss. Jack is a collector of various magical artifacts from other fairy tales, Cinderella's glass slipper, poison apples, Alice in Wonderland's growing cookie, and so on, and he hopes to use the map to find the wishing star and possess all of the world's magic. Puss reaches for the map but is stopped by his ex-girlfriend, Kitty Softpaws, Salma Hayek. Kitty had previously been recruited for the job by Goldie and the bears, but she was going to double-cross them anyway, and she is also angry with Puss for a recent betrayal. Jack spots them and pursues them, but Puss and Kitty escape in a carriage driven by Perito to avoid Jack's goons. Jack then gathers his baker's dozen of henchmen, as well as the necessary magical artifacts, in order to reclaim the map. Puss is terrified when he sees the wolf in the shadows, just as the heroes flee. Puss, Kitty, and Perito stop running and enter the dark forest via a portal to continue their journey to the star. They discover that the map can change the environment depending on who holds it. When Puss and Kitty grab it, their paths are doomed to be dark and dangerous, but when Perito holds it, the path transforms into a happy rainbow land thanks to his unending optimism. The cats agree to let him keep the map. They are then forced to move faster as they notice Goldie and the bears dropping down. The trio must pass through a pocket full of posies, a field of giant flowers that attack Puss and Kitty, but Perito's sniffing of the flowers endears them to him. He says the cats must stop and smell the roses. Goldie and the bears, as well as Jack and his henchmen, encounter the pixies, but they have less luck. Some of Jack's men are eaten or killed, whereas Goldie and the bears are able to fight their way through. The main trio continues on, with Perito telling Puss and Kitty his backstory. His original family would routinely try to get rid of him, but he kept coming back, so they finally got rid of him for good by throwing him in a sock with a stone into the river. While Puss and Kitty are mortified by his story, Perito sees the bright side of everything. He eventually wanders away from the group and into a brightly colored forest, where Jack and his goons await and kidnap Perito. After Goldie and the bears arrive, another fight breaks out, and Jack's goons are killed again when he hits them with unicorn horns, causing them to burst into confetti. Goldie and the bears steal the map from the trio during the battle. Jack also meets a talking cricket, you know who I'm talking about, who tries to find the good in Jack and act as his conscience. It does not work. Puss is forced to flee as the environment darkens and scares him, and he fears the wolf is following him. Perito locates Puss and attempts to console him. He admits to Perito that he needs the wish to save his life. Puss also tells Perito what he did to enrage Kitty. He left her at the altar on their wedding day because he felt there was no room for anyone in his life of adventure. Kitty overhears Puss express regret for hurting her and decides to assist him in getting back on his feet. When Goldie pulls out the map, she and the bears are led to their old cottage, where they first discovered Goldie after she sneaked in. Goldie had never had a real family because she was an orphan until the bears took her in. They intend to grant her wish for herself. Meanwhile, the trio sneaks into the cottage, with Puss successfully reversing the map until they are discovered. As they attempt to flee, Goldie captures Perito as a hostage while the environment continues to shift. When Puss grabs the map, he is trapped inside a massive crystal cave. He shows Kitty the map so she can find Perito while Puss tries to find a way out. Perito sits and watches Goldie and Baby argue and insult each other, but he tells them that they have the perfect family that he wishes he had all the time. As the bears develop feelings for Perito, Kitty manages to swipe him and flee. Goldie and the bears get lost while trying to find their way back, resulting in an argument in which Goldie expresses her desire for a real family, as in a human one. This breaks the bears' hearts, but Mama promises to assist Goldie in obtaining her wish if it will make her happy. When Jack tries to bring the cart across, he uses his remaining henchmen as a human bridge to the next stop, with all but one of them falling to their deaths. The cricket realizes Jack is a horrible person as he is flicked off Jack's shoulder. Puss speaks to his original 8 lives in the cave, who all come across as smug jerks. He realizes he is enjoying his current life with Kitty and Perito, but his realization is cut short when the wolf appears. He tells Puss that he has attended his previous deaths and that he is Death himself, sent to collect Puss's soul. Puss flees in terror once more. Puss arrives at the star's location and begins the incantation, I wish I may, making the wish. Kitty and Perito arrive, with Kitty believing Puss has betrayed her again after they discussed sharing the wish. Puss tries to explain that Death is on his way, just as Goldie and the bears, as well as Jack and his henchmen, arrive. During their struggle for the map, the star rises from the ground and creates a force field that spits people out. The henchman is sucked out, and Baby is nearly pulled up with him, but Goldie forgoes her chance at the wish in order to save Baby, realizing that the bears are a true family. To save Perito, Kitty knocks Jack into his bottomless bag. The wolf then reappears and traps Puss in a fire ring. He mocks Puss's fear of death, saying that he would be a coward if he used his wish to cheat death. Looking back on his time with Kitty and Perito, he decides to make his last life count, so he picks up his sword and fights the wolf. Puss manages to disarm the wolf after a fierce battle. He becomes enraged because he had hoped to see Puss as a roguish hero fearless of death, as opposed to who he is now, but he decides that another time will come for him to see Puss. The wolf departs, but Jack emerges from his bag, having consumed the growing cookie. He takes the map and begins to make his wish, but Perito attempts to distract him by making cute puppy eyes after Kitty demonstrates how to do so. It doesn't work on Jack because he's such a jerk, but it only buys Goldie time to throw Puss and Kitty at Jack while the bears join in on the fight. Puss, Kitty, and Goldie tear the map apart, causing the star to malfunction. Jack tries to reassemble the map but is missing one, which is in the hands of the cricket, who burns it and completely destroys the map with Jack's phoenix. The star completely disintegrates and absorbs Jack before exploding back into the sky. Goldie and the bears part ways with Puss and his pals. Perito decides to keep that name because he is happy to call Puss and Kitty his new family. They sit together and gaze at the stars. After a few days, the governor decides to take a vacation, only to discover that his boat has been stolen, and he knows who did it. Puss, Kitty, and Perito set sail for new adventures and to see old friends, as Puss puts it.